Hello, and welcome back to On Point, Breeders' Cup Preps Edition. I'm James Scully, joined by Vance Hanson. And Vance, we got 12 prep races at Belmont and Santa Anita this weekend, 7 win-in-your-in events. And let's take a look first. Some of these races are either short fields or big favorites, but you're not going to find a better betting race this weekend than the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic at Belmont Park. It anchors their 4 stakes, and I was wondering what your thoughts were on the Joe Hirsch.
Well, not only is it a nice big field, but it should be a great test for the 3-year-old Oscar Performance, who's the 3-to-1 morning line favorite. His first start against older horses, his first try beyond 1.25 miles. It's 1.5 miles, 1 lap around the oval at Belmont Park, and winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup Turf. I'm going against Oscar Performance, despite his back-to-back Grade 1 wins in the Belmont Derby and Secretariat. I think he's going to see some pace pressure in that race from Beach Patrol. I'm going with Money Multiplier out of the Chad Brown barn. This is only his 3rd start of the season. Won the Monmouth Stakes first up and then just got nailed late by Sadler's Joy and the Sword Dancer. Winless at Belmont in 3 starts so far, but 2 of those races came on soft ground. I'm hoping he catches good to firm ground on Saturday. I know they got a little bit of rain in the forecast at Belmont for Saturday, but if it stays just firm enough, I think Money Multiplier could be the horse to beat. He's the second choice on the morning line.
Yeah, really a tough job for the odds maker to set that morning line, I thought, because Oscar Performance is a slight favorite on the morning line, but you've got 3 horses from Chad Brown. Beach Patrol won their Arlington Million, Money Multiplier second in the Sword Dancer, and Fanciful Angel, who was second in the Arlington Million. They're all going to take action. I thought Meg Tall, I've seen a couple people tout his chances. He's listed at like 15 or 20 to 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the 5 or 6 to 1 range. And there's some others in there that I think could be a bet down, but I wound up landing on Sadler's Joy, and I'll say this about him. Kitten's Joy, he's a 4-year-old colt. He broke his maiden last year on August 22nd, made his stakes debut in late January, and while he ran okay in his early stakes attempts, he won the Pan American, he was 3rd in the Manhattan and 3rd in the Bowling Green. I really think he turned the corner last time in the Sword Dancer. I thought that was a real powerful performance, closing from last. He got a huge brisk late pace number, and a bit, his brisk class ratings. For me, the speed ratings on turf aren't that important. Turf pace doesn't make the race like it does on the main track, but those class ratings can provide a gauge. And where he was running in the 119s early on, now he's in like the low 120s. He got a 121 class rating last time. It's among the best of the field. I just think we also see this, whether it's Wise Dan or others, where these horses, these turf horses, can really start to come on when they're 4 and 5. And I think this is the prime time for Sadler's Joy to do the same.
That Sword Dancer was a much improved effort over the Bowling Green, and I think a lot of that had to do with riding tactics as well.
Right.
Julien Leperoux.
It wasn't a fast pace, but it was contested.
Yeah, and Julien Leperoux really waited to make that run in the final stretch, and he made a really good, powerful move. Whereas in the Bowling Green, I think he moved a little too soon, made the lead, and he got a little lazy on the front end, and just rode him totally different in the Sword Dancer, and it worked out. So I can see if he gets a similar trip as he did at Saratoga, he'll be tough.
Yeah, and like Vance had said earlier, there's a real chance for at least a contested pace with Beach Patrol and Oscar Performance. And one final note: Sadler's Joy, 4 starts at the 1.5 mile distance, 3 wins, and a head second. Turning our attention to Santa Anita, one of the first of the winning you're in a races is the FrontRunner, and it's winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and also is a part of the Road to Kentucky Derby series, offering a total of 17 points to the top 4 finishers. The top draws in there, first 2 in the Del Mar Futurity, Bolt d'Oro and Zatter. Vance, who you like?
Bolt d'Oro obviously looks very tough in here. Medaglia d'Oro out of an AP Indy mare. He's going to appreciate that step up from 7 furlongs to 1 mile and a 16th. I am going to take a shot against the 2 favorites here. I kind of like that Texas Wedge, who debuted at Del Mar in late July, 5.5 furlongs for $50,000 maiden claiming tag, and he won very convincingly over a next out winner by more than 6 lengths. He didn't compete in any of the stakes at Del Mar. They kind of saved him for this, and he earned a very nice 95 brisk speed rating in that maiden event. And that compares well with what he's with what Bolt.
It's the top figure in the field.
Obviously compares favorably with what Bolt D'Oro and Zatter earned also at Del Mar. And I kind of have a tendency also when I'm handicapping to prefer horses that have done something earlier than the competition. In his case, he did break his maiden nearly 2 weeks before Bolt D'Oro debuted, albeit against softer opposition, but he did it impressively, and I think he deserves to step up in class. And he's got a little bit of tactical foot. Maybe he goes out to the front and is able to, have his
Evan Roman will have him forwardly placed for sure.
Yeah, and have his run of the race. So
right.
I'm taking a shot at 5-6 to 1 with Texas Wedge.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the top 2 contenders in there, Bolt D'Oro and Zatter, I would be using them in like multi-race bets, like the pick 4. But I'm on the same page with Vance in a last out maiden winner. But I wound up landing on Solo Mini, and he's 1 or 2 for Baffert in there for Zayat Stables along with Zatter, and I really like. He's a Curlin colt. He's out of a Stormcat mare that's a half sister to Midshipman, 2-year-old champ, half sister to Fast Cookie, a graded winner in the Dama Frosted. So really, I mean, similar to Bolt D'Oro, I think his best races are going to be at 2 turns, and I really liked his debut. He debuted in early September at Del Mar. I thought he ran into a real good-looking prospect, Bahamian. I'm looking forward to seeing him come back and run and show good tactical speed, and then just finish powerfully to win going away. I think he's got another forward move in him, and as the 3rd probable choice in the wager, it has a little bit of appeal.
Yeah, it's how many horses? 9 horses in the field. I can't see any of the other horses in the field beyond those top 4 upsetting this particular race, and this race has a history of being very influential when the Breeders' Cup Juvenile is held in Southern California, and I think that'll be the case again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the final race there at Santa Anita, the final stakes, is the Awesome Again $300,000 Grade 1. It's a prep for the Breeders' Cup Classic, a win and you're in for it. And Bob Baffert, who already has collected Arrogate and West Coast, like gearing up for the Classic, will send out two. Cupid's the favorite, and Mutahij is either 2nd or 3rd choice of the morning line. Who do you like in Awesome Again? I'm
going to go with the favorite here, Cupid. Blew the doors off this competition in the Gold Cup at Santa Anita. Very impressive over 1.25 miles. Had a relatively easy win. Well, I shouldn't say easy win. The margin wasn't that big, but
it was comfortable.
It wasn't a taxing effort in the
Brubaker.
in the Brubaker at Del Mar, and I think that sets him up pretty well here. And Baffert was going to have a strong quartet at least in the Classic after Saturday, I think.
Well, I think that, I won't be surprised at all to see Cupid win. I mean, he's very formidable, and all reports are he's like really thriving in his training and coming into the fall in great shape. But I'll tell you, he doesn't want him on the lead, I don't think, Baffert. Baffert has collected. I think he's his pace setter in the Breeders' Cup Classic. No way he's rating. He's going to send him to the front. And I think he doesn't want Cupid dueling with collected in the early stages. So I think he's going to tell Bejarano to sit 2nd, 3rd, right off the speed. And I think that could provide a tactical advantage for Midnight Storm. He likes the track at Santa Anita, real strong Grade 2 win earlier this year, and was 2nd in the Santa Anita Handicap, a close 2nd to Ethnix, who I thought ran the race of his life that day to beat him and was never the same afterwards. Now, Midnight Storm went off form a little bit going to Oaklawn, and he comes off a 4th place effort in a turf race at Del Mar. But I think going back to the dirt for D'Amato, he's got a chance to get out on the front end and steal it.
That's certainly a possibility. The main reasons why I didn't like him, as some of the things you just pointed out, lost a race at Oaklawn, and he really had no business losing from a class perspective. And then running 4th in the Del Mar Mile last time, that was a race he would have won comfortably 6, 8, 12 months ago. And the fact that he couldn't win that race kind of just leads me to think that we may have seen his best already.
All right, well, we'll find out for sure this Saturday, and be sure to, use Twin Spires. We'll have all the betting action. New IRS tax rules are in place, so good luck, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Point.